Everything you see, everything you hear, and everything you are is currently on fire. This isn't a metaphor for climate change. It isn't a political slogan. It is a literal description of your internal reality right now. You pick up your phone, flash, a dopamine hit, flash, a rage bait headline, flash, a comparison that makes you feel inadequate. Your mind is racing, your chest is tight, you are exhausted, yet you cannot sleep. We call this burnout. We call it modern anxiety. But 2,500 years ago, the Buddha sat on a hill called Gaya Sisa and gave what is arguably his darkest, most intense sermon. He looked out at a world of suffering and diagnosed the human condition with 3 terrifying words: all is burning. This is the fire sermon. It is the ultimate red pill of Eastern philosophy. It suggests that the reason you are miserable isn't because of your job or your bank account or your relationships. It's because you are living in a house that is on fire, and instead of trying to escape, you are decorating the walls. Today, we are going to walk through the flames. We are going to deconstruct the Buddha's most radical teaching to understand why your mind feels like a war zone and how to finally find the exit. To understand the cure, you have to understand the diagnosis. When the Buddha said all is burning, he wasn't being poetic. He was speaking to a group of 1,000 fire-worshipping ascetics. These were men who believed fire was holy. The Buddha flipped their entire worldview upside down. He told them, the fire isn't out there on the altar. The fire is you. He said, the eye is burning, forms are burning, eye consciousness is burning. The ear is burning, sounds are burning. The mind is burning, thoughts are burning. What does this mean for us today? It means every input, every text message, every email, every billboard, every awkward glance from a stranger is a spark, and your senses are the dry wood. But what is the fire? What is the heat that consumes us? The Buddha identified 3 specific fires that run the engine of human suffering. 1. The fire of passion, greed, or lust. This is the I want fire. It's the burning desire for more money, more status, more pleasure. It's the heat you feel when you see someone else's perfect life on Instagram and feel a pang of envy. It's the itch that says, if I just get that promotion, I'll be happy. But fire never says enough. Fire only consumes. 2. The fire of aversion, hatred. This is the I hate fire. It's the burning heat of road rage. It's the simmering resentment you feel toward a boss. It's the hours you spend arguing with strangers in comment sections. It is the rejection of the present moment. 3. The fire of delusion. This is the fog. It's the refusal to see things as they are. It's the idea that one more scroll will satisfy you, even though it never has. T.S. Eliot, the great modernist poet, famously referenced this sermon in his masterpiece, The Waste Land. He realized that the modern world, despite its technology, was a wasteland of spiritual burning. We are burning with anxiety because we are addicted to the heat. We mistake the intensity of stress for the feeling of being alive. Here is the uncomfortable truth. We are pyromaniacs of our own suffering. We love the fire. Think about it. Why do you doom scroll? Why do you watch news that makes you angry? Why do you replay embarrassing memories at 3 a.m.? Because the ego, the self, feeds on friction. The ego needs a problem to solve. It needs an enemy to fight. It needs a desire to chase. If the fire goes out, the ego feels like it is dying. So when we feel bored, the fire dimming, we immediately reach for our phone, adding wood. When we feel peace, the cooling, we sabotage it by worrying about the future, adding gasoline. We are terrified of the cold. We are terrified of silence, so we keep burning. But the cost is your life. The result of this burning, the Buddha said, was dukkha, suffering, stress, unsatisfactoriness. It is the feeling of being perpetually worn down, like a stone in a river. So how do we put it out? Most Western self-help tells you to manage the fire, get a better planner, optimize your stress, work hard, play hard. This is just rearranging the burning furniture. The Eastern solution is radical. It's not about management, it's about extinction. In fact, the word Nirvana literally translates to blowing out or extinguishing, like a candle flame. But how do you blow out a fire that is fueled by your own biology? The Buddha offered a specific psychological progression in the fire sermon. Step 1. Nibbida, disenchantment. This sounds negative, but it is the most positive step you can take. Disenchantment means breaking the spell. Imagine you're watching a movie. You're crying, your heart is racing, you are terrified for the hero. Then, the projector breaks. The lights come on, you see the blank screen. You realize, oh, it was just light. It wasn't real. That is disenchantment. It is looking at your burning desires, the new car, the 10,000 followers, the validation, and realizing this doesn't actually fix anything. This is just more fuel. It is seeing the phone not as a portal to connection, but as a slot machine stealing your attention. When you see the fire as fire, you stop trying to hug it. Step 2. Viraga, dispassion. Once the spell is broken, the heat begins to fade. This is viraga, literally fading away. This is not becoming an unfeeling robot. It is becoming cool. When someone insults you, the fire of aversion flares up. The enchanted person reacts, "How dare they?" adding wood. The dispassionate person observes. Ah, anger is arising. My chest is hot. This is a physiological reaction. You stop being the fire, and you start watching the fire. You create space, and in that space, the fire, starved of fuel, naturally dies down. Step 3. Vimutti, liberation. When the fire is out, what is left? Ash? Darkness? Nothing? No, what is left is clarity. What is left is the cool. Think of a lake. When the water is boiling and churning, you cannot see the bottom. You cannot see your reflection. When the heat stops, the water settles. It becomes a perfect mirror. This is the mind of liberation. It is a mind that can finally perceive reality without the distortion of "I want" or "I hate." It is a mind that is unshakable. You are living in a burning world. You cannot control the external fires, the economy, the politics, the noise. But you can control the internal intake. Here is your Firefighter Protocol for the modern world. 1. Label the flame. Throughout your day, catch yourself heating up. When you feel the urge to buy something you don't need, say, "This is the fire of greed." When you doom scroll, say, "This is the fire of delusion." Naming the demon breaks the spell. 2. Starve the fire. When you feel the heat of anger or anxiety, do not act. Do not send the text. Do not refresh the feed. The fire begs to be fed. If you can sit with the discomfort of the heat for just 90 seconds without acting, the chemical wave will pass. Let it burn out. 3. Seek the cool. Find the places in your life where the fire naturally dims. Silence, nature, deep work. The moments where you forget yourself. Protect these moments. They are your glimpse of nirvana. The final insight. The Buddha's fire sermon ends with a simple observation. The monks who heard this, the fire worshippers, were immediately liberated. Why? Because they stopped identifying with the flame. You are not your anxiety. You are not your ambition. You are not your anger. Those are just energy events passing through your system. The world is on fire, yes, but you do not have to be the wood. You can be the sky. The sky allows the fire to rage, but the sky itself never burns. Stop adding fuel. Let it burn out and enjoy the cool.